whale Scotch fillet. Hey, this is Dave from Dash Off Road, and we're not going to do a full drive video this week. I'm going to do something that's been up on my stories for a long time now, and that's carnivore diet. I've been on the carnivore diet for 12 months now, going strong, and I've had heaps of people like private message me, how's it going, did you lose weight, are you drinking alcohol, what are the foods you're eating, what snacks are you doing? So I thought it would be a good idea to make a video and tell you what my journey is, because everyone's carnivore journey seems to be a little bit different. The great thing I love about the carnivore community, like when you talk on Facebook in the groups and so forth, you know, if you have a juicy, like a caramelized carrot on your plate and you eat it, no one's going to get that upset. It's not a big deal. As long as you do 95% carnivore, you're kosher. So I'm going to tell you about my carnivore journey, and then I've got a heap of questions which people have asked me, and I would ask myself 12 months ago if I could watch this video, and I'll go through that, and you can see if this is right for you or not. So my journey started, well, the why. I used to go out, had a typical Australian diet, heaps of pub food, KFC, Macca's, you name it. But even when I cooked at home, have a big pasta meal or something, I just got like so bloated and just feeling awful. I noticed my body, I'm getting older, I'm 45 now, but just like aches and pains and things which I didn't enjoy. You know, when you start getting up out of your chair, you make a noise, and I think that's part of inflammatory things happening in your body. So I started off, I thought I'll give it 7 days, and then I got to know I'll give it 30 days, and then I just kept on going from there. So before I did any of this, I did a blood test too. I'll talk about that after. But I would say 3 days into carnivore is when I started losing that sort of big bloated guts. I actually started to feel like I was moving a bit better, and I swear my cognitive ability got better. I noticed at work I'm just finding my words quicker and I'm sharper, on point, that sort of thing. So if you're going to try carnivore, I reckon if you stuck it out for 4 days, you'd be able to tell whether you're going to get a feeling out of this or not. But really, you know, it was that 7 days plus where it happened. And I started like, you know, it was like a fat kid in a cupcake shop. I went for everything. I got like the big fatty Maryland chicken fillets. I was having steak for lunch every day. I'd go home and have like fish and everything at night. And it was, it was actually hard to eat that much meat. It was a chore because generally meat is fattier. That fills you up more, and it's like, oh, I've got to push more in. And soon after that, I learned to change that style of eating, and definitely didn't lose any weight in that first week because I was eating so much food. I'm going to skip week 2 because I was sort of finding myself, but I must admit, those first 2 weeks, you know, you're putting more food in your body, it's got to come out or have adverse results. So it was either constipation or diarrhea, I must admit. It wasn't fun at all, and there's a way I cured that too. So number one, I realised I didn't have to eat 3 times a day. You know, if I look at my diet like today, 12 months on, it's pretty much been the same as when I hit that sort of 3 to 4 mark. I realised that I do need a little bit of fibre in my diet, and that can be as little as a glass of orange juice. Not that crap you buy at the servo, but like freshly squeezed orange juice. I'm lucky enough to have an orange tree in the backyard, which I can squeeze myself. In the off season, OTR seems to amazingly have freshly squeezed orange juice all year round. Or you can, at our local shops at Saints, you can buy 2 litre bottles of it. It's $10, but it's the best OJ in the world. So a little bit of fibre in the orange juice. If that's not available, I took some berries, that sort of thing, organic. And once I changed to having berries or OJ for breakfast, maybe a little bit of biltong or jerky or something throughout the morning, maybe 50 grams. And then a decent sort of meal at lunchtime, like a sort of 400 or 500 gram steak. My favourite is Scotch fillet. That's when it all changed for me. Carnivore turned into a thing that I understood. It stopped becoming a chore, and I wasn't hungry at all. So I would like finish eating my steak at, I don't know, 1:30 or whatever. I wouldn't even think about food that night. And I'd go through the next day. If I had a busy day, I might only get the orange juice in and nothing until lunch again. But if I didn't have a busy day, I'd like, yeah, sure, I'll have some biltong or whatever. And that's just to keep my hands busy while on meetings, I reckon. But you don't get that craving of hunger. Like all the signals when you go on carnivore are different because you don't have this inflammatory sort of thing that happens where your gut expands and then shrinks again. And that's when you get hungry, when it shrinks. But because you're eating a lot of meat, it's always full and you don't get that. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm a bit hungry. And I've had times where I've been not eating for 24 hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm a bit hungry. And I've been busy and I just go through until dinner time. You can do that. I want to talk about cheating because that's another bit too. Personally, I've tried hard as I can not to cheat. Probably with the exception of alcohol, I haven't been able to turn that dial off. And when you do that, alcohol's an inflammatory thing too. Your benefits diminish. Like I know with that diet that I was talking about before, OJ, biltong, steak, I would lose 0.5 kilo every day. If you have 10 beers, guess what? That doesn't happen. So you do have to like back off. All right, going ahead. Talking about cheating, I've known people doing carnivore that cheat once a week and have like a pasta meal or something, or they'll have a salad or something because they're just craving that. And you know, for them that's fine. For me, who hasn't cheated at all, if I eat leafy green vegetables, cabbage, lettuce, I just turn into a fart machine. Sorry to say, for like the next 24 hours. So I've just decided I'm not going to eat that sort of stuff. Same with onion. You know, that's mixed into a lot of like hamburger meat products and things. And if there is onion in there, it's like, oh, straight away, big fat guts, inflammatory. Even takes like a day or two to get like, you feel the aches come back and that sort of thing. And then you get to day 3 mark again and you're off and running. So, but yeah, the guys I only do 1 cheat day a week don't seem to suffer from that. I don't cheat at all when I have suffered. And I think it's because of your gut bacteria or biome. Because in the early days of carnivore, I had all the green leafy vegetable bacteria starving themselves. So I think that's part of the diarrhea. And then to the point where all my other gut bacteria was working overtime, so there was just an imbalance there. But that goes away. It took about 3 weeks and just a little bit of fibre, and that was part of my journey. The people that cheat once a week didn't have that issue. But I felt crap after I ate pasta, so I didn't do it. It made sense. All right, let's move on. So the questions that I've been asked, is this sustainable? Did I lose weight? Bloods, toileting. Did my family do carnivore? Have I been hungry? What am I actually eating? Can you have alcohol? And what are my favourite and least favourite things about carnivore? They're all the questions that I've got. I've answered some of them. But going through, is it sustainable? Well, yeah, I'm 12 months in, and even went out to lunch with my wife, Sharon, today, and I still, you know, let's say I was 95% carnivore. I'm probably going to teeter it back to say 90% because I've been testing foods over the last 12 months because this isn't like an elimination diet at its best. I'm really not eating anything other than meat, so I can start, and I get the benefit of that, but now I can start introducing foods back in and go, oh, onion is bad, oh, cheese is good. And I've tried things like, I do limit dairy, I don't have heaps, but just a little bit. But like I found avocado is perfectly fine, and I think there's a great health benefits to it. So every now and then I might have a bit of avocado. Same with beetroot, broccoli seems to be fine. But there's, obviously anything gluten is like totally out. That makes me feel horrible. And I'm probably, a little bit gluten intolerant, and maybe I always was. And maybe that's all I am, but I've done carnivore to learn that. That's just, again, my journey. Did I lose weight? Well, I could, and I'm pretty consistent. I'll lose 0.5 kilo every day up until, I'm a social person. We go out for food quite regularly. And when you go out for food, you eat more. Even though it's carnivore, you eat more. Even horses get fat eating hay, as my dad always said. What else? Bloods. I did bloods beforehand, and I was pretty healthy and fit, low cholesterol, low sugars. You know, I was in the parameters of everything. 30 days after carnivore, yes, my cholesterol rose, LDL cholesterol, and I've had to go and research what that meant. So my understanding of cholesterol is it's like the vessel that gets nutrients from your blood through your, you know, your arteries and veins, through that the wall of your veins, into the rest of your body and your organs, and that's how it gets nutrients. So cholesterol is the vessel. You can tell I'm not a doctor, and this is my opinion, so don't sue me. If you have high cholesterol, LDL, and you're overweight and unhealthy and so forth, and eating crap food, that creates plaques, and that's how you have heart attacks. But if you have high LDL cholesterol and you're, you know, fit, healthy, a normal weight, active, that sort of thing, it's actually helping, like, the nutrients get into your body. So the myth of what about your cholesterol, I think, is truly just a myth. So before carnivore, I used to take magnesium and vitamin C supplements because I was always down in magnesium, maybe very twitchy, not sleep well. After carnivore, I didn't probably touch magnesium for 6 months and didn't get any of the withdrawals or the problems that I had pre-carnivore, where I needed magnesium to stop me doing all those twitchy things. So I think, yeah, that has helped. There's a lot of essential minerals in the fat components of meat. So when you're picking the meats you want to eat, having, you know, a certain percentage of fat, that's where the good stuff is. And if you can find a farmer that you can buy directly from that, you know, adds extra, you know, trace elements into the food for those animals, like I buy a sheep from a farmer regularly, and I think there couldn't be anything better for you. Taller. As I was saying, in the start you have some challenges, like initially, like when you need to go now. And you do get diarrhea. I'll try and not say that word again. But then once you get into the routine of it, you have perfect poos. They don't smell anymore. There's not the impulse to, like, I got to go now. It's like, oh, I'll just go when, you know, it's convenient, I'll get around to it. And at risk of being gross, there's no cleanup anymore. It's just perfect poos. All right, I'm going to leave it at that because that's not what my channel's about. How's it made me feel? Heaps better, more energy, less information. Playing with my kids, it doesn't hurt as much afterwards. When you get off the floor, it's like, I swear my muscles recover quicker. And I actually had neck surgery, fusion surgery, not that long ago. And I personally believe if there was extra inflammation because of the food that I was eating, that would have affected my recovery. But I'm stuck to my meat diet, and I believe I've recovered very quickly. One of the questions were, how much do you have to plan? Well, on one hand, you have to absolutely plan your snacks, because especially in the early days, when you start carnivore, you get hungry, you're out on the road or you're somewhere haven't got a lot of food available, you'll just eat crap. It's just what you'll do. So have some biltong, have some berries, have stuff ready to go. All the stuff that you generally buy in a shop is crap. I've found I've had to order the good stuff. My favourite shop, if you asked me last week, the best shop ever online is Najobi for their small products. Nothing sponsored here. And then this week I got a delivery from the jerky company. Again, this is a backyard sort of place, but fantastic, unbelievable snacks for people just like me. Pork crackle, and yeah, the sneaky like pork crackle that you buy in the servo, look at the ingredients and it's got all these ingredients you can't recognise in it. So when you're buying pork crackle, make sure the packet says pork, salt, maybe pepper, and that's it. If it's got any more than those 3 ingredients, like, don't buy that and don't eat it, because you'll feel crap at the end of it. Does my family eat carnivore? No. My daughter tried because she loves eating steak and chops and all that sort of thing, but it didn't work out long term as much as I'd love her to. When I met my wife, she was vegetarian, so it's been pretty hard to get her to do it. She tried it for a week, looking at sort of eczema issues. She couldn't really eat meat much more than that, so we couldn't tell you whether it helped eczema or not. There's a whole people on Facebook saying it helps for your autoimmune diseases. I don't know, but it's worth researching if that's something that bothers you. I want to talk a bit about carnivore and then like just beef, because I feel better on carnivore and I feel better even again when I just eat beef. So every time I get the opportunity, I just try and have a Scotch fillet for lunch. Fills me up. I feel, for some reason, I feel better, more energy, less aches, less problems. So that's most of the time, my diet is just steak, which brings me to cost. Is it expensive to be carnivore? Well, the meat that I buy in the butcher, Anglevale Butchers, shout out to you, I buy a whole Scotch fillet. It's $50 a kilo. It's, I don't know what grade it is, but it's the best steak I've ever had in my life. I love it. I get them to chop it up into like 400 or 500 gram steak, so it's probably $25 a steak or something like that. However, if you add up $25 a steak, orange juice is free. Actually, let's say I paid $5. I've spent $30 now, and a bit of biltong, $35. That's my total consumption of food for the day. Like, I see the guys in the workshop downstairs will buy a Subway for $18 at lunch. The food truck comes at 11 and they'll buy an iced coffee from there, and then in the morning get another coffee on the way in. I don't drink coffee, by the way, and a sausage roll. I reckon I spend less than those guys before they even get to dinner. So as far as budget-wise, I think that's fine. I'm lucky. I've got a barbecue at work. I can cook my own food at work. In the car, I've got a travel buddy that I can put ribs in and stuff like that. Oh, doing beef ribs on a big trip and get to the other end. Oh my God, so good. So there are some challenges about eating when you're going to eat, but you just have to plan it out. If your meal of the day isn't going to be lunch, do it in the evening. Like if you had a little bit of bacon and eggs in the morning and maybe a 250-gram steak at night, that's probably all you would need for the whole day, in my opinion. Once again, I'm really stressing that carnivore isn't going to be for everyone, but I would implore everyone to at least give it a try and see what they think. I reckon you can do 3 to 7 days to know if it's going to be good, bad, or otherwise for you. You get over the chore and bore of eating meat. Like you end up finding seasoning flavors. For mouth pleasure, you can have crackle. You can actually even get the crackle and smash it all up and use it as a crumb and do a beef schnitzel or a chicken schnitzel, something like that. There's a lot of ideas on Facebook that really go through this. It's worked for me. I'm going to keep doing it 90% of the time. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments of the video, and I'll do my best to answer them then. And I would hope that other carnivores would jump in and answer underneath too and kind of help me there as well. I think it's the way to go. So that's it. You probably won't hear anything else about carnivore now, except on my Facebook stories, because I love to post pictures of meat. But we're going to go back to the normal full driving, YouTubing style channel that we've got. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Yeah.